And I hope everybody is doing blessed. I'm doing blessed and highly favored, and definitely hope the same for you. And if this is your first time stopping by my channel, much love to you and welcome. It's so good to have you. And to my returning subs, my growing extended beautiful family, just thank you so much for the love and support. Quit it. Love and support that you constantly give me. We're going through major transition right now, but trust and believe is going to take you places where you'll be truly happy. So, with that being said, much love to all. Namaste, love and blessings. Love and light and many blessings are definitely coming your way. And if you've been watching my videos for a while and have not already, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know when I'm about to upload my next video. Also, if you're comfortable enough, please drop me a line or two. I would love the chance to get to know you as much as you're getting to know me. Even if it's about the positive feedback of the content of my video, or you're just up telling me about your empathic gift, how it impacted your life, and heading you towards a positive direction. And if you feel like the videos are very informative to you, give you good vibes or good inspiration, you would love to share with a loved one, family, or a friend, or even a fellow empath. They're truly going through some things right now and need spiritual guidance or just needing um, confirmation or validation towards life path or even soul purposes, please go ahead and share. And while you're at it, give me a thumbs up, like, and also share on your social media favorites, wherever you see fit. Thank you once again for the love and support. It's so totally appreciated on so many levels, and I love y'all so much. And I hope you're able to resonate with the content of my video. The music that I'm listening to in the background is called Calmness. Sleep meditation music, fall asleep, relaxing. You know what? This is the same daggone video. Oop, my bad, y'all. I didn't realize that was the same video. So the same one I got on here. But let me see. Uh-oh. There we go. Yeah. No, it's called Lumura. Underwater temple, handpan, hang drum, relaxing meditation music, and I will post that link in the description box below. And the video I'm doing today is Twin Flame 101. Heyoka, you embody the goddess and God and goddess in you to the fullest. Don't let no one tell you different. You're all going through these intense changes, and you're being open to the gifts we've been carrying. I said no telling how many gifts we have. There are sometimes you do things that you've been doing stuff since you were adolescent, or even before that, and it could be very natural to you, and next thing while you're looking up one thing about something, it's like the universe orchestrated things, so you'll know these things that you're doing on a regular day basis is like a gift. And then not everybody can do, because it's like when I always look at all the different changes that I'm doing, and it's like my gifts are being very intense. It takes me there, it puts me in different situations. When I'm connecting with other people, it allows me to know the things that they need to know about themselves as well as their surroundings, or being able to give that person that positive reminder on different things that's really helpful for you, because a lot of times you don't realize your strength until you allow yourself to step out and look at it from the outside, or people are sending you that affirmation. I mean, that, well, affirmation and confirmation towards the positive changes you're taking place in your life. You're allowing yourself to really see things, how they're changing. You're not absorbing, the energy that was taking place in negative situations, or a memory that comes up. You're allowing yourself to be more open to the changes that are taking place in your life, being able to trust the process. And it's hard to do that, especially if you had so many different things that's going on in your life. Because a lot of times, we always, some of us got that cloud, like, my mom say, you can be very janky, so there's a lot of times you just have all the negative things. I used to be that type of person, like I would constantly talk about negative stuff and not even see the positive that was going on it. But then I allowed myself to focus on the wrong things instead of, trying to see what certain situations or what, connections with certain people, what was that trying to tell me? What did I need to learn about myself as well as my surroundings that I'm allowing myself to keep in? So you're allowing yourself to become stronger. Like I said before, if you're not in the place that you want to be, that doesn't mean you're not getting there. But you had to go through all these different stages of clearing your life. You're doing an emotional cleanse. You're doing a spiritual cleanse, mentally, cleanse, all these different things you're taking place in your life, that you're allowing yourself to be fair to yourself, allow yourself to see, okay, what is this circumstance trying to tell me? What do I need to see inside this thing, that's going on in my life? Am I allowing myself to see the bigger picture and make changes, or allowing myself to invest more in certain situations? And it's just like they're guiding you. It's like you're going through all these twists and turns in your life. They're telling you about different things that is going to, basically, send towards your way for you to be able to combine with what you got going on now, to take you towards that next level, allowing yourself to know the confidence that you've always had. But a lot of times sometimes we don't have enough confidence in ourselves at times. We don't have that reassurance, or we're so busy thinking, oh, this is not going to work. And then when it doesn't work, it's like, see, I told you. But you put that kind of vibe out for it not to work, because that's the strongest vibe you put out. Not accepting, not allowing yourself to say, let me allow myself to see where this is going to take me. Not counting on, not putting all my ducks in a row. Just being able to allow things to flow for me. Because it's like all of us have that energy and that power and the magic of being a goddess or a god. You have many, you're a jack of all trades, but it's all about what you're allowing yourself to be open for. It's just like the universe gives you, different things to do in your life, and sometimes we draw back from it because we don't understand it, or we're not allowing ourselves to be open to it, and you don't realize you could be blocking a blessing for you to help you go towards the next stage in your life. So allow yourself to really see what is taking place in your life. You're doing different changes. You're allowing yourself to be open towards different changes in your life, but you're also putting up healthy boundaries as well. It's just like, whatever you're so used to doing with negative things, it's like with me, I was just so lonely, because it's like, growing up, I was always, by myself a lot, but I had like different friends, but I always felt like different from them. And it was just like, I didn't get those things at home where, it's just like, respect yourself to know if this person doesn't respect you, walk away. But it was just like, it was, when love was being pushed out, it wasn't like, the picket fence happy parent type thing you see on TV and stuff like that. So it was like, even, when my mom and my her started pushing a gap towards us and all that stuff, I didn't get that type of love, um that I was supposed to receive from my father. So it was like a lot of times I placed myself in, very dangerous circumstances or situations just for me to get that connection of love, doing things I really shouldn't have been doing, especially at that age. So I allowed myself, because even people that know me since I was, middle school or high school, they're like, Roslynn, you did a total 360, like about 20 times. You are not like you were when you were growing up. Yeah, and it was just like, we all did things at a young age. We did some stupid stuff. Hell, sometimes we are grown-ups and still do stupid stuff. But that's how you learn. You never should be, ashamed of those things. You allow yourself to know, okay, I used to be this way, but that way of life enhanced me to get this way of life, and it was just like those things in my life. I'm grateful for all the bad things that I did in life, because it allowed me to learn. This is not that life that you need for yourself. Allow yourself to love yourself on all stages. Don't be open to being so free to be open for everybody like that, because not everybody needs to be in your life like that. Not everybody is uh, basically, don't be so forthgiving to everybody, because not everybody got good intentions out for you. Just because they clap don't mean that they're happy for you. So you're allowing yourself to be stronger within yourself. You're allowing yourself to be open. You're doing adventurous things in your life. I'm connecting with a lot of people that also are still going through their, freshly, on that path. It's like they've been on it, but it's just like they're knowing more about things. They're opening up from their childhood. And it's just like, because when we were children and we went through some really damaging things growing up, a lot of times the way we deal with those things is we suppress them. We forget, stop thinking about it, instead of allowing yourself to really see fit. Because it's like a lot of things, you know from your childhood can really mess you up in your in your adulthood. I see myself go through it, and I see my children go through it, and it broke my heart because these are the things I exposed to them. But also I have to allow myself to, when I allow myself to say, what, these things I exposed to my kids, those were my issues. But I also had to allow myself to know that's what kind of life you've been used to, because this is all the things you just seen growing up. So this is something that's normal for you, even though it's not normal. So it was just a lot of things I'm allowing myself to really view, you know being able to face that truth, even though when truth can be a weak point for me. So allow myself to get strengthened throughout these different circumstances I've been placed in, for me to be able to be balanced all the way. So it's just like, I'm glad on the things that are going on in my life. It's just like when I ask God, can you bring some more people my way for me to be able to help, use my experience for them to be able to reflect on the changes that are going on in their life, you know, and it's a beautiful thing to me. I really love what I do. I have all different, type of experiences. Some I love, some of them are life lessons that, just like, hey, you have to allow yourself, not everybody has good intentions for you. Sometimes you can be that person that all of a sudden they got these, they're threatened by you, and a lot of times that can happen. But then you have to allow yourself to know, oh, okay, this has happened, life lesson. Because, sometimes when I've gone through a lot of different things, I tell people it's just like when I'm doing what I'm doing, a lot of people appreciate what I do. A lot of people are glad that I make these videos because it's like they'll have this, this question. It's just like, can I get this sign? And if I'm going on the right way, or do I need to make this decision? And it's just like, by powers that be, I'll be guided towards a certain way, and then that being that I'm being somebody else's blessing because they needed to hear that. Or when they came towards me and I needed that confirmation, they were being my blessing. So it's just like, I don't see myself as that arrogant person or feel like I'm above anybody. No, we're all on this path of learning. We're all on this path of growing, healing where it needs to be healed at, experiencing the things that you need to experience in life. You learn. And it's just like a lot of times, it got to that point where I had so many bad things that was coming up. Either, it was people that were trying to see what kind of benefits they can get off of me. Or, if they had this infatuation about my dad, since they couldn't get close to him like that, they want to get close to me. And it was like I felt good experiences doing what I had to do here. And I've also had some really bad ones. And so it's just like I appreciate them both, because it's like when I start seeing that type of vibe coming again, I don't allow myself to say, oh, here it goes again. This is the main reason why I draw back from people. I'm not going to talk to people like that. And it almost got to that point I was about to do that because it was happening too much. So I had to allow myself to say, okay, what am I doing for this to happen? And when I now allowed myself to see those things that I did that drew this, I had to allow myself to let that change take place. So it was just like, don't cut yourself off from people just because these bad experiences. But you have to also understand there's going to be a lot of people that's going to cheer you on because, you can be that example for somebody else to say, you know what? I see they're making them changes in their life and it wasn't easy for them. But look at how the things are going for them in their life now. That makes me know that, okay, they don't went through some hellish stuff, but they still try to have a positive vibe to give off towards people, even though they went through so many crazy things or really bad things. They still try to see the positive in that, because sometimes it's hard for me to do that. I always keep that honest with you, because there's some days I can see the positivity in that bad situation, but there's a lot of times when I get to that point where I'm tired of being tired, it made me want to just like, what, I'm just going to be very, professional with people. Don't allow somebody to really, get close to me like that. But I had to understand, not everybody's going to be rooting for you, but not everybody's going to be hating on you either, you know. But you have to allow yourself to know, everybody comes in your life for a reason and a season. There's sometimes where you think, oh, this is going to be my good friend, or this is going to be my boyfriend, or this is going to be my girlfriend, and then next thing you know, they were just there for, that connection that y'all need to learn off each other, and then y'all got to go your separate ways, So as long as I know I was a good person towards somebody, or I carried a good character, but yet they didn't, as Heyokas, when you allowing yourself to take that healing process in place of your life, because there's certain areas on yourself as well, even though you might be connecting with some real toxic people. Hell, we with us being empaths, we got some toxic tendencies as well. And those are the things you have to really recognize, because a lot of times, people be pointing their finger out, but they don't notice the same one finger they pointing out at you, and they got three of them, they're pointing at them. It's just like when I deal with family. I tell them, hey, like, Rosa, why'd you block me? Why'd you do this? When I went through my situation and when y'all knew the truth, y'all didn't want to see it. All of a sudden I was getting ignored, or you didn't have time for me. And I really needed, somebody to really talk to. And this is a family I really thought I can confide in. And, they didn't want to believe it, even though there were so many, signs that the things I was talking about was true. But then it was like either I had family members that were very jealous off of it and just didn't want to hear it, or it's just the fact that my mom ex-husband got towards them so he can already have this bad picture painted up of me because they needed everybody to be on their side. And I said, you know what, quiet as this kept up just made a good way to look at it. I cut all y'all asses off, because when I needed you to be family, you weren't family with me. But now if you starting to see the truth that I'm having, and take my number in. Okay, and I'll make sure I take that number in, and I'll also put on there, don't answer. Because it's like, I'm good. I just keep to myself. If I can help you, I can help you. If it's supposed to be that, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, hey, it's all good too. I don't chase nobody to be in my life. I don't, if you're going to either be in here, be in here. But it's just that, I had, different experiences in my life where people rode the fence. When it was beneficial for them, they were all in my face. When they got what they needed, they're going about their business. And so it's like once you out, it's like Fort Knox. You out, you out. I don't have no ill will towards you. If I see you out in the street, I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing? I didn't used to be that way. I'll be looking at you sideways and I'll let you know I don't like you. I'm like, yeah, I don't like you. So what makes you think I'm about to go out my way and tell you hi when I don't really care for you? I used to be like that. But I said, you know what? That's giving somebody too much energy. When you're allowing yourself to keep talking about that person, gives me too much energy. So it's like when I love the things that I'm doing because it's allowing me to reflect on the things that I need to make changes for myself, things that I needed to do, to better secure me, not to put no walls up, but be very selective about what you open up for, because this is like, this life is not something I'm used to having, being able to know the truth in my family. That's way not something I'm used to having. So it's like being able to know I went through all these things. And it's just like, I laugh at it sometimes because I've always been bold with my words. There'll be things people think. And I always used to hear that all the time. Like, Roslynn, you prideful. You're not rude, but it's just at that point, you don't allow nobody to come in and try to take advantage of you. And then when they try, you call them out on their shit real quick. I've always been that way. So it's just like me being where I am. I even hear my dad sometimes. He was like, I see why they said things about you to me like that. They wanted me to walk away from you, but they don't realize, they think they know everything that went on in his life, because he's, a celebrity or whatever. But I mirrored a lot of things that he went through. So it's just like, that's my baby, that's a part of me. I'm not going to run away from her, And then when he was like, now when he's, over on that spiritual side, because, it was like they severed that connection we always had. We had that twin telepathy since I was little, but went through that hypnotherapy. They cut that communication off. So when all that came back, he was like, now I see why they threatened by you still remain strong. And he's like, I'm proud of you for that. And it felt good, because I barely heard anybody growing up saying they were proud of me. And it was like instantly, my dad crossed over. He was always telling me how proud he was of the things that I was doing, the changes I was making. But then he got in his feelings too, just because how the things I had to handle, how I had to deal with my issues, how that I had to deal with my, I self-medicated. So now it's like dealing with stuff, I'm really dealing with it head first. And that's where your strength comes in. When you're allowing yourself to not have to, you're 100 proof, no chaser. That's how you have to be dealing with your life. You have to be your own queen or your own king, your own god or your own goddess, regardless of what people try to paint you up as. Everybody has a different perception of you, but how you see yourself, that's the only thing that matters. Because it's like there's some people out there who just talk about, oh, I was a friend to her, and then when she found out who her dad was, and who this and that, she act like she don't know nobody. Okay, Or, there's going to be people out there like, you know what, she is so down to earth. She'll just take the shirt off her back, just for you, or she'll take that time out to get to know you. And, I appreciate both, everybody got their level of perception about me. I'm not going to hear good things all the time, but I'm not going to hear a lot of bad things either. It maintains, it's all about what you did in my life for me to act that way to you. Because I've always been that good person. But if you push me in a corner, that you don't woke the beast. And I try to keep her in hibernation 24/7, 365. But if you push me towards that corner, that's what you're gonna get. That is what you're gonna get. You can get the light of love and all that, and then you can have that one where Apocalypse Now is gonna really pop off in your life, 2020. And I mean, I'm talking about the movie apocalyptic type 2020. But I allowed myself to make those necessary changes. I'm still doing that. I allowed myself to see, okay, this is your strength, but this is also, your weakness. You have to be able to balance them both out. And when you're allowing yourself to see what kind of changes you need to take place in your life, oh, that's where everything begins at. When you're allowing yourself to see, okay, this is what I need to stop doing, or this is what I need to, invest more in my life, you know, or these are the things that I need to change, or this is the thing I need to stop doing. You're seeing, what you need to change. What things that you need to add more to your life. But it's all about what you decide to do. Because, with us being Heyokas, we mirror everything that people need to change. But also we also um gravitate towards things in our life we need to change, because all of us are going through this, this huge transformation of healing, allowing ourselves to be able to see us as those warriors that we always are. But you had to go through all these different, hellish daggone situations for you to be able to be reminded of that. You had those people that see the light in you before you see the light in you. And those are the ones that really don't like you. Those are the ones that don't like me. I said, I don't care. How I see myself is what matters, you know, because it's just like people that are attached to my mom's ex-husband. They'll never have nothing good to say about me, especially after my dad died. Everybody that they're attached to was looking at me all funny, So I'm like, look, I don't care what the hell they said to you. It's like with them, they always thinking about an image that they need to save, or an image, you know, they need to live up to. They want people to be jealous of them. They want people to be, I wish I was more like them or whatever. Because it's like, when my kids get into it with their grandparents or whatever, if they said something, my kids were that type of person. They'll put stuff on social media. Now, if they would have said something, talked about me all day, I wouldn't hear nothing about it. They'll probably be kikiing or whatever. And the next thing you know, um, if it's something put out there by them, oh, you need to tell her she needs to take that off. She needs to do this. She needs to do that. I said, no, she did you say anything about it when she put something out like that on me? No. But you got it to do it for that, because you don't want people looking at you that way. You don't want nobody seeing the truth about you. So it was just like, when I've gone through all these different transitions in my life, allowing myself to be open, you know, being able to be bold about the things that I went through, the stupid things that I've done. I don't talk about every little single thing I've been through growing up and stuff in life, but I talk about the things that really matters for you to be able to see how your life has been and how you need to make those changes like I'm doing. We're all powerful. We're all loving people, but you have to allow yourself to, all the love that you're giving other people, whether, they need that or not, but most of the time they need it anyway. That's the same energy you need to be giving, applying to yourself. Because a lot of times we go through different circumstances in our life. We put ourselves in different situations, just by the choices we made, or just by the people you hang out with, or just how you speak things out in existence, really shows the path that you're taking right now. And it's just like you had to learn from all these different things. And so it's like, when I allowed myself to see the changes I need to make in my life, allow yourself to let go of things. Allow yourself not to be all up in your feelings because something somebody say, because it's just like, when I'm not used to, the things about when it comes to my dad. My dad's like, oh my God, I wish there's a lot of things that you weren't exposed to, because it's like he didn't want me to ever look at him in a bad light. And I'm like, I see you. We all done had an experience. It's just with you, everybody got these daggone, they're running around telling people so they can make money off of it, or they got pictures or photos of stuff, but I mean, it doesn't make me think of you any differently. You're still my dad. I'm proud of you. I say, even when you put that damn dress on and high heels and you were being funny, you know, I wouldn't have cared about that because that's all you. You've been, my dad has always been known to be different from other people. You can never, even when people try to throw him in categories with people, he was a person of his own. He always pushed his own envelope. He was doing a lot more things than other people were doing. And that's why I admire about my dad. I'm very proud of everything he's done. Whether, he was running around wearing them Speedos and, all those different things we was doing back in the 80s. And he grew up to be so, suave. He was like a Casanova. I used to call him a cool cat pimp. He's like, I'm not a pimp, baby. I'm like, whatever, but you know what I mean, and it's just all those different things. And I'm proud of my dad, all the changes he's made, all the good contributions and charities he's done. I'm proud of him, all that. I will never look at him any different, except you're my hero that I can never admit to. I can never say anything about when I was in front of other people. And then as well, my mom's ex-husband and their family seen that, so they seen that in me. They knew that my dad loved me, but they wanted to have other people see me the way they saw me, and I was very intimidating to them. So they had people looking at me like, I was beneath everybody, and I would act like that. They treated me like I was a peasant. So it was just like, when I'm going through stuff now, I'm glad I experienced that, because it's just the fact is there ain't nobody else is going to ever disrespect me like that again. It's just like the stuff that they pulled back in the day, they can't pull it back now, because it's just like I'm on that button of chill. And if it's just like, when I see you about to come out of pocket for me, and I'll tell you, look, I ain't that same person. I'm not gonna allow you to, pull me in that direction, but don't push it. I always tell them, age, askers or put my hands on them, but that's a whole different story. That's a whole different story. Because like I said, they didn't sign that ass kicking clause. But it's just the whole point. When people do devilish things to you, you don't have to worry about, going back and seeking revenge, or, doing those things. Because a lot of times, during my transition, I mean, I seen red. Like, I really seen red. Like, you knew who my family was. You kept me away. You made sure I was constantly in poverty while y'all lived off of something my dad saved up for me. The things that, I had to do things that was really embarrassing. I had to steal and then take stuff back and get money. I had to write bounce checks just to cover bills, or just to make sure my kids had diapers or milk, when I shouldn't have had to do that. And you had no problem with making sure me and my mom suffered while y'all were living a good life, buying all these, expensive name brand stuff, like, y'all living lifestyles of the rich and famous, while y'all making sure I was living like good times. If anybody know what good times was back in the day with JJ Evans and Michael Evans and stuff like that, it was like that. They were, what was it? Silver spoons. It was like they were silver spoons, like Mr. Drummond and all them, while I was sitting up here living, like good times on food stamps and all that stuff. And it really angered me, because it was just like, you denied me happiness. And it wasn't even about the materialistic things, but it was just the fact is, there was that one person that loved me, and you tried to make sure that I lived throughout that fear. Or you looked at my dad saying, oh, he has all these beautiful women, he has all these expensive clothes, he's going all over the world, but the only one thing he has is not his daughter, not his firstborn. And they made sure he never did do that. So it was just like, it was like a blessing and a curse at the same time. I'm being able to help people with the abuse and the things that I've experienced in life while I'm healing, but constantly having that gap in my heart that my dad passed away before I was able to physically meet him. Just being able to say, oh, wow, I talked to my dad before. I just constantly talked to him on the phone, but never knew who he was. Knew there was some, like, man, this is just like, this energy is crazy. Everybody says my dad got this strange, powerful energy. And he does, because as soon as they ask me to, pick up the phone, like, who is that? Why they got to talk to me? Why they want to say, I got about 10 or 20 questions before I pick up that phone, just because the energy he carried was so powerful. I can feel it through the phone. And even when he was, at their house, I would feel it outside, and I'm like, hell no, I don't know what that is, and those are the type of people don't give me surprises. So, I'm thinking, if I walk in their house, they about to set me up either for a murder, or they about to sacrifice me, because they were into that Illuminati shit. So all those different things is happening to my life, and I see all the changes is going on for the better, just because the fact is, I'm being open, of being, somebody who's well known and very influential, an idol upon idols, the purple one, whatever they want to call my dad, the
purple Yoda and all these crazy things, because this is like a life I'm not used to, and I'm still trying to get used to it. Not worrying about what people say about my dad, not becoming bothered or pressed because people want to talk about things, even though I give them the side eye, and I'm like, you really are reaching for it, aren't you? You really trying to be relevant, but you have to allow people to be like that. And he was just like, I'm a private person, but don't allow yourself to be, pulled into that. Don't allow yourself to do that. Even when people say something bad about him, I'll be the first thing ready to snap on somebody. He appreciates that, because not a lot of people did that for him, you know. But it's like people are gonna see you how they want to see you. Because how you see yourself is what's important. You're doing good out in the world, you do that. Don't change up just because people don't have something good to say about you. You ain't got to sit up here and do something that everybody needs to know about. You can still do it. He was that person. He would do stuff, slide of the hand up under the table. He didn't need everybody to know, when he has helped somebody out. He didn't do that. And it's just being able to know all these things came out after he died. He helped Lauren Hill family when she went to jail for that tax, whatever she had going on for the last 2 years. And my dad was sending money to her family, just making sure they maintain that type of living for herself, for themselves. Or, when Trayvon Martin died, my dad sent a lump sum of money to them to help that family out. And, even made a song about Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. And being able to know my dad did all these things, even though he was a wild person back in the day, but I still, even though I laugh at it, I was like, oh my God, you're like night and day. You used to be real wild back in the day, but who wasn't? And then when you got older, he's like, baby, you got to change your ways. You can't be the same way like you were back in the day to where you are now. And it's like something really wrong if you still stay there, you know. But he was always, a person of his own. You can't never really compare him to anything. But it's just like everything you go through in life, you allow yourself to make those necessary changes, not for just for people to look at you differently, but how you allow yourself to look at you differently. You're seeing your path change, you're seeing yourself making more, positive choices, rather than just to jump into something because you're uncomfortable around your surroundings. You have to be comfortable getting uncomfortable. Things constantly change every day, but you have to be allowing yourself to make those changes as those changes, are taking place in your life. You're always had that hidden god or goddess in your life, because you want to see people, in happy, when you want to see people doing happy things, you want people to be happy. You also want yourself to be happy, but you have to allow yourself, when you're out there giving that love towards everybody on the outside, make sure you're giving that extra one to you. You always should do that. Take that time for that self-care. Y'all know, if you've been with me for a while, I'm like, hey, a self-care day. Or I got one of my love bugs, especially my brother from another mother. He be quick, like, you made all these daggone videos. You need to go take a break, eat your trail mix and drink all this water. Or I have one of my love bugs, my sister from another mister, one of my little nieces. Hey, mama, make sure you sit up here, drinking all that water. They come take care of me. And I'm just like, well, I need to do this. Like, well, you need to take time out for yourself, because you don't made like umpteen videos. People still be trying to catch up on it from last week. And there's like about 20 videos that came out since then. But I truly love what I do. I love to be able to take that time out for people, being able to tell them, hey, these are the things that I had to struggle with. And if you're struggling with these things, you should do what's right for you. Don't sit up here and put yourself in situations where you'll be stuck in that situation longer just because of the poor choices you're making. Allow yourself to face the things that you need to heal from, acknowledge the things you need to bring forth, allowing yourself to see what healthy relationships are you allowing yourself to press, put up healthy boundaries. Are you allowing yourself to be bothered just because somebody else, you're placing your focus on, are you placing your focus on the positive things, or are you allowing yourself to stay focused on the negative? All those different things, you're making those choices for yourself, and you should be proud. Y'all are growing each and every day. You're beautiful beings. You're important, you matter. No matter what you were told growing up, you matter. Your voice matters. You're important. You're a part of the mission. You play your important part. You wouldn't be going through so much hell if you didn't know that you have blessings coming for you. When you don't have anything going on, people don't be messing with you. They don't test you. They don't try to invade you, knowing that they don't have no good intentions for you. You have beautiful blessings that are heading your way, but you have to also know they're going to test you to make sure you're worthy for the blessings they're about to give to you. And yes, you are. So never let nobody tell you different. But I love y'all. I hope y'all were able to resonate with the content of this video. I hope y'all have a beautiful, positive, prosperous week. I hope you were able to resonate. Drop me a line, let me know. Share, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I'm about to upload my next video. And know you're truly blessed, highly favored, and forever loved. And knowing there's always somebody out there praying for your better days. And I will see you on my next video. If you want to, like, subscribe, drop me a line, share, give me a thumbs up. If you want to hit me up on private, and you want me to help you out with your spiritual path, and you have questions, you can always find me on Facebook under my name. You can, I'm not accepting any friend requests, but you can send me a message and we can stay connected there. If you're in the US, please only text me between 10 a.m. and 10:30 p.m. Pacific. Was it Pacific? I said specific. Pacific Standard Time. And make sure the inquiries and concerns are serious. Please don't waste my time. I don't, those are the things you can't get back. So, if I might not have the answer, I will certainly send you in the direction you truly need to get the answers that you need. I will see you on my next video. Much love. Peace. Be wild.